Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is episode 40. We finally made it to episode 40.
Is it 40?
It's episode 40 of Late Night with the Gringo.
Oh, so far.
So far, we
made it over a month?
About a
and
month.
a half.
About a month and a half. Had a little lull there, but we're good.
There you go.
So welcome. And so it's a beautiful Saturday night. It's raining here a little bit. A little thunder, a little lightning, but we needed the rain. So if you hear a little thunder and lightning, that's all that is. How you doing today?
Busy.
You've been busy today. I was busy.
I was up the whole day, up and down, all over the place. I mean, I do what's needed. I'll say that at the very least.
Nice.
Bit exhausted, but I'm happy to be back home and on the show.
That's good.
So
I like that. I like that you gave me the Scorpion coaster. I like that.
you like that one? Well, I got the skull and crossbones and then the sun.
Oh, El Sol, La
Sol.
Sol,
Is it El Sol? I think it's
Yeah.
El Sol. I'm pretty sure, because if I remember Spanish correctly, the sun is a man,
Is a man.
not a woman. The moon's a woman.
Moon's a woman.
Luna.
Fantastic. Well, yeah. So yeah, I was busy today too. I think it posted. I think it's live, but I did a comic book review for the Comic Verse today, and it's the first appearance of Ghost Rider in 1990 when they rebooted him. Normally, everybody knows him as Johnny Blaze, because in the Nick Cage movies, he's Johnny Blaze, but Daniel Ketch is Johnny Blaze's long lost brother. So they rebooted it, and I used to love. As a kid, I remember picking. I still have that comic. It's sitting in a safety deposit box. It's probably not worth anything. I just kept it because it's just memories.
It's cool.
I like it. So
Yeah, I like it.
it's one of those first issues I picked off. I didn't know who Ghost Rider was. As a little kid, I think it was like 1990. I was probably 12, 13, something like that.
1990? No.
15?
15.
15.
I was like, you can't do math.
Can't do math. I'm old.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was 15. So I remember getting that off the shelf of the old Village Knoll.
They sold comic books there?
Oh yeah, they sold everything.
I didn't know
They sold comic books were on the bottom shelf, then regular magazines, and then the porn was the top two shelves.
Because only adults can reach. Understandable.
Well, I guess.
Theoretically.
I guess theoretically that was it because
Theoretically, back then, it was like, you're tall, you must be an adult.
most people don't look up. I guess I don't know.
I'm sure you were looking.
No comment. I plead the fifth on that. So that posted and started a new channel, which has got nothing to do with pop culture. It's started a new channel called Beyond Chapter and Verse this week, and it's a passion of mine, and it talks about religion and the Bible and things like that, and just kind of deep diving into the history behind the book and behind the passages. But that was fun. So yeah, I've been quite busy. I still have a lot. I'm behind in everything right now. I'm just so behind with everything, all the moving in and everything.
I'm behind on my work too.
Yeah, you're gonna start your channel soon.
Yeah.
Good. So we'll figure that out.
I keep that. That's another side. Maybe I mention it here on stream. Maybe I don't.
Well, when you're ready.
We'll see.
Although I did get a gift from my wife today, and you were with her when you bought it.
Okay, I didn't see her get this.
Apparently, the one movie I can't watch without crying, and I cry. If I watch this movie right now, I'll be bawling in tears at the end of it. But then I looked at it. It's E.T., and he's not phoning home. He's giving me the finger.
As God intended. Research that and Bible and verse, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll have to find a place for him in the office here, and we'll figure that out. But
put on your jacket.
I'm not putting him on my jacket. I'm not going to walk around with ET giving people the finger.
I think it'd be funny.
I think they look.
Imagine some kid like, Dad, look, it's
Look,
ET.
they already know I'm an American. People look at me and go, oh, look at that American. I don't need to act like a jackass because to prove
Hey, you
that I am
Canadian. You wear a Blue Jays hat quite a lot.
Let me just,
Quite a bit.
Let me just do that for you.
Just got to add a couple A's.
Yeah, I don't need that right now. So, but the thumbnail, our primary topic today, we got a few topics. We got a few topics with politics and Trump because
he's the president.
He's the president, and he says some things that are just kind of blow my mind. Some things I like, some things I look at it and go, not so sure.
A little iffy.
We're going to check out Captain America's box office numbers, which I already know ahead of time, and I'm like, ooh, this is.
We get to see. We get to see.
Yeah, a couple of the pop culture things just thrown in there. I think they're just for fun, and we'll take a look at it and just have some fun with it, and we'll go from there. But first off, because I live in Mexico, that's why I'm south of the border. Every video I end is Salud a huevo from south of the border, is because I am south of the border. I do live in Mexico. So it's quite interesting watching all these politics and all these things going on in the zeitgeist around the border, and being an American living in Mexico, because, things are getting interesting. So down here,
You see, you can't also be an American and still get deported from your own country. Isn't that right, Gringo?
I'm probably going to get, look, they could deport me from here. They've actually stepped up deportations of Americans.
No, I figured. Well, you're married to one. I don't think that's going to work, really.
I don't think they care.
I think they do, kind of.
But,
Both countries.
you heard what we have to do, because here now, to get my residency, and make everything hunky dory,
you got married.
our marriage certificate from the United States isn't valid enough for us to be like, yeah, we're married. We've been married 24 years.
Well, it's not that it's not valid. It's more like people. If you ever meet anybody from Mexico, usually they have, and it's stereotypical, but it's very true. They have the longest of names, and so what ends up happening is you end up changing your names on certain documents. But because it's different names in certain documents, even though it's all part of the same,
they don't take it as the right
they
one.
don't take it as the right one.
Long story short, I have to have the Secretary of State of Massachusetts apostolize my birth certificate from the state of Massachusetts, where I was born, get it sent back here, and then my wife, who's been my wife for 24 years, she and I have to go down to a Mexican courthouse, I guess, or I don't know if it's a courthouse.
It's not a courthouse. It's actually like this
government office.
It's this old. I've been in there. It's this old kind of fort,
and get married.
Kind of former prison too, and they turn it into a very nice office. It's beautiful.
Technically, I have to remarry my wife,
starting anew. Same woman.
I'm not wearing a tux this time.
I'm wearing a suit.
I'm not wearing. I'm not wearing a suit.
Do I get to like throw like almonds at you, but like really hard ones? Be like, yeah.
Hey, technically, if Mexico doesn't recognize us as married, does that really make you my son?
You're not technically. You're down here. You're free.
I'm free.
You're free.
I'm like a bird. I want to fly away. No, sorry. So
that would call the embassy.
So that'll be interesting. So we're going to do that. But we're going to talk about Mexico. We're going to talk about Sheinbaum, the president here in Mexico. And let's get that rolling here. Let's see if we can get that up. We got a few articles to look at here. And did I do that right?
Yeah,
no, I did not do that.
I don't think you did it right.
I didn't do it right.
Transition.
Hey, here we go.
Are we good? Are you sure?
We're good. All right. So, in case you didn't know, the person in the middle of that picture is she's been in office, 6 months?
She got in October?
October. That's Claudia Sheinbaum. She's the new president of Mexico, first ever female president of Mexico. She is a ultra leftist. She's so left, she makes AOC and Elizabeth Warren look MAGA. That's really how left she is.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Some of the things
her party controls the Congress of Mexico, and the courts no longer really have any real power after the laws that they passed. Mm-hmm. Judges are no longer independent. They can actually, if they make a ruling that they don't like or that Congress doesn't like, they just vote them out of office and vote somebody in that they want.
Yeah, so non-judges kind of have to have political ties.
Yeah, there's weird. Yeah, there's no sort of separation of powers here. But anyway, so the big deal: Mexico's president warns the U.S. against. Ooh, that's some good lightning.
Where's the dog?
He's with your mother.
Hi.
Mexico's president warns the U.S. against invading to fight cartels after Washington designates them as terrorist groups. Well, listen, we all knew this was coming. This is something that was promised by Trump and the people that were running with him. Before he was even elected, he was going to designate these cartels, and he's designated 6 Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations, Tier 1 terrorist organizations, including Sinaloa and the New Jalisco Generation, or Jalisco. Those two are as well.
Well, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised they put the New Jalisco Generation, because those guys are dangerous. Those guys.
So the frightening thing here for President Sheinbaum is that this is a prelude to the United States military invading Mexico, which,
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
It usually, if we do this, it means we're not going to necessarily send like tanks rolling over the border, but Delta Force,
drones.
Maybe SEALs.
They're doing about literally hundreds of drones. Now, listen, before Trump was president, the CIA or intelligence agencies, they estimated they did about one intelligence gathering drone flight per month around the border area and into sort of Mexican territory, or at least a little bit into Mexican territory. That's been up now since Trump came into office. They're doing hundreds, which means now these are unarmed drones, according to the reports being given by the Pentagon. These are unarmed drones.
Listen, when do we ever trust the Pentagon when they say these drones are not armed? But mysteriously, there's an explosion on the southern border.
I'm just saying that's what we're being told.
We're going to trust the guys who have failed an audit, six times in a row?
But I want everybody here to read the tea leaves. There's no reason to send hundreds of drones on an intelligence gathering mission.
Unless you plan on doing something.
So, yeah.
We've massed the military down there too, right?
Yeah.
We've buffed up the border.
Now the Mexican military is trying to do something. They've upped their arrests and whatnot. But let's face it, Trump accused the cartels and the Mexican government of being basically partners or in league with each other
in corruption. With each other, essentially.
And to a certain extent, that's true.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, it's not. It really depends on the politician. Now, one of the most dangerous things, listen, there's some dangerous jobs in the United States, but here are the most dangerous things you can do for a job in the state of Mexico, in the country of Mexico. Number one, be a police officer because you are just a target. Unless you're going to be a corrupt one.
Oh, well, actually, no. Number one is actually not a police officer.
It's journalist.
It's a journalist.
Being a journalist. I was going to get to that. Being a journalist, which they disappear all the time because they write stories that these organizations don't like. And then politicians is another one. Now, politicians, policemen, those are two different ones because it depends. Are you looking to do the right thing? Well, then you're a target. So many politicians, political candidates, even before they even get a chance to get to the election, get assassinated. It's crazy. If you look up the numbers, I think last year something like 35 candidates for representative in different Mexican states were assassinated by cartels. Something like 10 or 11 different gubernatorial candidates were assassinated. So
it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Very big problem.
It's really a big problem. So
because you have to play ball with them a little bit if you want to just live and get into power.
Yeah. So, but anyway, she goes on to say. We'll get back to all that. It really is a complicated situation down here because the organizations we're talking about, these cartels, they've amassed more money than you can think. Everybody says Elon Musk is the richest man on the planet. No, Elon Musk is the richest man on the planet that you know of. Some of these cartels and some of these drug dealers probably have a little bit more, or at least as much as Elon Musk.
And if you got technically their businesses, I guess is what you call it, they're not businesses, they're empires as assets. Yeah, they're worth quite a bit.
Quite a bit, yeah. Quite a bit. So, quote, this cannot be an opportunity for the U.S. to invade our sovereignty. Well, it is. Sorry.
Hold on. Before we even get that, you said it was our problem.
Well, yeah.
We are off to fix our problem.
Let us remind everybody that about 2 months ago, President Sheinbaum, when she took office, said about the drug trade and the problem between the United States and Mexico, said that the drug problem is entirely a U.S. problem because of the demand side. Okay, now that's a very myopic way to look at it, but there's your leftist side of looking at it where it's not my problem and it's your problem. You fix it. So
we're gonna fix it.
We're gonna
go fix it.
He's gonna fix it.
Listen, I love staying in this country, but when that stuff starts, it's gonna be tempting to go over that border again.
It might be. So, anyways, she goes on to say, with Mexico, it is collaboration and coordination, never subordination or interventionism, and even less invasion. Problem is, one could argue that the cartels are basically invading or intervening in the national security of the United States with what their activities are doing. And no, they are not government-sanctioned bodies. No, these aren't government or federal agencies or state agencies. These are rogue agencies, rogue organizations. However, if the government that controls the country in which they are in is unable or unwilling to do anything to address them, then, yeah, they're going to be ours to address. So on Wednesday, the Trump administration formally labeled 8 cartels as terrorist groups.
8?
So 8, 2 in other countries.
Okay.
They included Mexico's 2 main drug trafficking organizations, the Jalisco New Generation and Sinaloa cartels. Those are 2 of the biggest cartels in the world, if not the 2 biggest cartels in the world, period. Yeah. Mr. Trump signed an executive order on his first day back in the White House saying that the cartels constitute a national security threat beyond that posed by traditional organized crime. The move has raised speculation about possible military action. It's not going to be possible. It's going to happen. Listen, members of the cartel have already shot at Border Patrol agents from across the border. Members of the cartel have already come across the border and shot at American citizens in the San Diego County area that were just hiking in the desert. So there's already been no skirmishes, and I'm sure there's many more that we haven't heard about because they're keeping a lid on it because they don't want that getting out.
I mean, we're not even going to talk about the other stuff going on too, probably. So.
Oh, tech billionaire Elon Musk, who has been given a prominent role in the Trump administration, said on social media the designation means they're eligible for drone strikes. And yes, they are. They are eligible for drone strikes, and that's how that's going to happen. That's how that's going to go down.
It's going to start with a drone strike. It's going to start with drone strikes. That's what I think. And then after that, it's going to go into, all right, we know where you're hiding.
Yeah.
Find a better place to hide because that's not going to work.
Now, in response to this, Mexico is targeting U.S. gun manufacturers because it is true. Where do they get all their guns?
Across the border.
Across the border. So drugs go over the border northwise. Guns are coming over the border southwise in just the same amount of numbers. But it's a little bit of a different thing. So here, Sheinbaum also said Thursday that Mexico would follow through on a promise to expand its legal action against U.S. gun manufacturers following Washington's decision to designate cartels as terrorist groups. The Mexican government accuses U.S. arm makers of negligence in the sale of weapons that end up in the hands of drug traffickers, and Sheinbaum said the lawsuit could lead to a new charge of alleged complicity with terrorist groups.
Here's the problem.
Let me finish. An estimated 200,000 to 500,000 American firearms are smuggled into Mexico every year, 60 Minutes reported in December. In 2023, CBS reports investigation found that dozens of cartels' gun-running network operating like terrorist cells pay Americans to buy weapons from gun stores and online dealers all across the country, as far north as Washington and even Alaska. According to U.S. intelligence sources, the firearms are then shipped across the southwest border through a chain of brokers and couriers. And here's my problem with that, and I'll let you go ahead and say your piece, and I'll say my piece on this problem.
I was going to say, it's not like there are just a bunch of random Americans taking business opportunity. Let's sell guns. I'm sure there are obviously probably a few gun runners, right? Is what I'll call them.
Yeah.
But most of them are cartel agents.
They're illegals.
Well, not even illegals, but also just cartel agents. People paid by the cartel to do it. You know what I mean? So in that regard, they're part of the cartel and thus part of the cartel.
Where I think that this lawsuit fails and has no merit is that you're suing the U.S. gun manufacturers for something they can't control. If they're legally applying the law where they are in the country and the state that they are, and they're selling a firearm to somebody, and they legally do it, to do all the paperwork, to do all the background checks, they follow it to the T.
Right.
What that person does with it after they leave the store is not the gun manufacturer's problem.
Fault even. They followed their responsibility.
They can't. I mean, are gun manufacturers supposed to just basically do, I don't know, welfare checks on every gun owner in the United States? Well, hey, you still got it?
Their only argument could be that though the law does not specify, I guess, the investigation or even like the reasonable, I guess, background check of figuring out if this gun is going to stay with this person.
Yep.
They may be able to argue you have a responsibility as a manufacturer to go above and beyond the law to ensure that the gun is going to the right place, theoretically. But even then, it's like, how can you say they haven't gone above and beyond the law by doing all these checks and probably having their own internal?
If there's one thing that we have a lot of regulation over, it's firearms.
It is firearms, except for maybe Texas. Texas, we kind of loosen that up.
We loosen it up, but still there's.
Yeah, no, we still know where guns are
So
going.
this is the tit for tat that she's going to go with, and I think that it's really not going to matter because in the end, that's not going to keep the U.S. military from coming over the border when Trump orders it, which I guarantee you in some form, one way or another, within the next year, that will happen. You will see it on the news, you'll read about it in the papers, you'll check it out online. That will happen. It's just sometimes you have two bullies circling the block for a while, and you know what? Someone's got to. It's got to be a fight. Someone's got to go, and I think that's what this is really coming down to. Now, the last thing, and this is how I know Sheinbaum is really doesn't have a good handle on things. Last month, Sheinbaum launched a campaign to crack down on a number of weapons on the country's streets by offering cash to those who anonymously leave weapons at designated drop-off locations, including churches.
Bring guns to churches.
Yeah,
that sounds
drop them off. Drop off your old guns. I'll give you money so you can buy new ones.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great. That's like wow, this Glock has been jamming a lot. I wish I had a new version. Here comes the Mexican government to help
now,
me buy
she's even out. It's very difficult for the United States to change the U.S. Constitution. Very, very difficult.
Oh,
Mexico's done it 30 times within the last 6 months. It's very easy to change the Constitution in Mexico.
It's supposed to be theoretically flexible, thus allowing the government to quickly change and adapt to a changing situation. You have to understand Mexico has a history of revolutions and instability, so they needed a system of government where making immediate change was possible and kind of swift.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's faults to this, and there's benefits to this. Right now, this is kind of the problem. You have too many
So-
changes going on.
So here's the other part of the story. And she states, again, this cannot be an opportunity for the United States to invade our sovereignty, Scheinborn said at a news conference Thursday, adding that Mexico would collaborate on combating organized crime but would not accept subordination. We've already talked about that. A foreign terrorist organization designation allows the State Department to deploy special sanctions and expands the U.S. government's ability to prosecute people who provide support to the groups and collect, quote, military action intelligence, according to the Wilson-Center analysis. Branding cartels with the designation has been raised several times by U.S. lawmakers, but Mexico has staunchly opposed the idea because it fears it could lead to the U.S. military intervention and negatively affect Mexico's global reputation, analysts say. And yes, that's another problem. The economy here has been roaring despite the government in place because of there's so much foreign capital coming in from Europe, China especially, Japan.
I think Japan actually a little bit more than China.
Yeah, cheap labor, cheap land, cheap resources. And then easy access to the United States.
Right.
So they're really
And different regulations too.
Yeah.
So you just have to abide by U.S. safety regulations when it comes to your products.
Yeah.
But in terms of manufacturing checks and stuff, they can't check what you're doing. Okay.
So they're afraid that this is going to scare off some investment, or it's going to allow the United States Treasury Department, which when you're designated a foreign terrorist organization, if you're a business that somehow some ties to that organization, whether you know it or not, you are now in the crosshairs of the U.S. Treasury Department, and it can have assets seized, frozen.
It's not a very fun thing to have.
Yeah, it's not.
If you thought the military was scary, and you're like, well, at least I have my money. Your money's gone.
Yeah. I don't know. Be honest with you, I'd rather have the U.S. military knock on my door than the IRS.
Yeah, because the IRS always gets their man. The U.S. military will sometimes miss you for a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe forget you if something big happened. IRS, they don't forget. They're on you like hounds.
Yeah. So that's the other part. So they're going to change the Constitution. The first reform proposed by Scheinbaum on Thursday would state that Mexico will not accept any act from abroad that is harmful to the integrity, independence, and sovereignty of the nation, including coups, election interference, and unauthorized foreign interventions in investigations and prosecutions. So
that doesn't sound bad at first. It sounds it's pretty reasonable.
Well, I mean, if they're designated foreign terrorist organizations, that opens it up to our good old friends at the CIA, who love
Latin America.
Love Latin America.
We have a fantastic history of revolving ourselves in Latin American politics.
If you don't know, the first time the CIA ever went from an intelligence gathering organization to one that was an intervention organization was 1954.
Chile?
Nope, Guatemala.
Guatemala.
So everybody uses this term banana republic.
Great shirts.
But banana republic to describe certain countries that may not be doing so well or have certain forms of government. There's a reason for this. In 1954, one of the richest companies in the world was a U.S. company called United Fruit.
Mm-hmm.
They sold bananas all over the world. Sounds silly, but at that time, bananas was like frickin' gold. I mean, gold.
It still is pretty valuable now, too.
Yeah. So, where did United Fruit, what did they do in Guatemala? They bought up all the farmland. So United Fruit, a small group of capitalist Americans, bought up all the farmland and were growing bananas and
paying the labor pretty cheap.
Paying the labor really cheap.
It's
and
Guatemala.
So the Guatemalan people had no access to their own land, or they basically were bought out of their own land, and they couldn't develop their own economy. I know, boo-hoo, I get it. I get all that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not here to debate
that.
I'm not here to debate it, right?
No.
But what happened was there was an election, and a new president there was going to be a new president elected. He was going to win in the poll. He was winning in the polls. He was going to win, and basically his thing was he was going to force the United Fruit Company and any other American company or a foreign company that owned the land, basically say, here's your money, you're forced to take it, and we're taking back our land, get out of our country, we're going to own our farmland and give it back to the people so they can make a living and grow and create generational wealth.
Which is nice.
I'd
be supportive of it.
So the very rich people at United Fruit in 1954 decided to go to, I believe his name is Alan Dulles, who was the director of the CIA, famously fired by John F. Kennedy, and Allen Dulles famously became a Supreme Court justice. No, Allen Dulles famously became the head of the JFK Assassination Commission.
Wow, that sounds no bias.
Anyway, so Allen Dulles went to Eisenhower, who didn't give a crap. Eisenhower could give a shit.
He won war. He was just this is a fun position for him at that point.
They didn't even really tell him. He said, "Listen, he just gave Allen Dulles free rein." And this is the first time the CIA sent people down to kind of create disturbances, create unrest, create fake news, false rumors, things like that to sway the election. And so they did it on behalf of the really rich people at United Fruit, who were very big donors to the party. Mm-hmm. All right. And so the reformer lost and the United Fruit Company puppet government was elected. There you go. Banana Republic. That's where you get. So you get basically a puppet government that is corrupt and doesn't care about the people. That's
what runs on bananas.
It runs on bananas. So, anyways,
actually, fun fact: I believe that fruit rebranded because their history kind of got exposed to the. They still sell bananas today, which is funny to me. What is it? Chiquita brand? Chiquita, I believe it's Chiquita. Chiquita, I believe it's Chiquita. Yeah. So if you go buy their bananas, just remember they had a country.
Yeah. So the CIA's used to. So there's a reason why Mexico is putting up this as a reform, including coups, election interference, and unauthorized foreign interventions, because, well, they've seen this movie before.
Well, they see the writing on the wall.
It's
not even like writing on the wall. It's more like I've called you and I've left 40 voicemails.
Yeah.
And I've explicitly told you what I'm going to do. And now you see, he's getting the materials together to do this.
Yeah. The second reform, and this kind of concerns me a little bit because I'm a foreigner. Fair. Not that I would do any of these things it's listing. The second reform to the Mexican Constitution would enshrine that any national or foreigner involved in illegal weapons trafficking, that's not me, and any foreigners who infringes on Mexico's sovereignty.
Not you.
I don't know. Well, what if I overstay my welcome, my visa? Is that infringing on the sovereignty?
I don't know. That's actually very vague.
Yep. Would be subject to automatic pretrial detention and maximum penalty. She added that 74% of the weapons seized in Mexico come from the United States. I don't know. So maybe one day we can do a live stream from a Mexican prison.
Woo!
So yeah.
Well, I'm Mexican, so I don't count.
Yeah.
Well, technically I'm still American, but by blood I'm Mexican, so that takes like a month.
And here's what we got. There's also organized crime in the United States, and there are American people who come to Mexico to do these illegal activities. Well, then keep them out. If you know there's people coming here illegally to do illegal things, then arrest them. Do your job. Why do we say this? Because if not, who would distribute it? Who would distribute fentanyl in the cities of the United States? Listen, it's still the cartel's people who's distributing these things.
Yeah, I was going to say, listen, you guys still get in the country, then sell it there, and then it just gets to smaller dealers.
Yeah. So
it's not like if we got rid of all the smaller dealers, there's going to be no market. Yeah. They'll create the market. Actually, the market creates itself.
So the other groups designated foreign terrorist organizations were Mexico's Cartel de Noreste, La Nueva Familia Michoacana, Cartel de Golfo, and Carteles Unidos.
Where?
Right down here.
Oh, here. The Noreste, pretty dangerous. La Nueva Familia Michoacana, they're newer, but they're very violent.
The new ones become more violent.
Well, the new ones are violent because they're starting off, and usually what happens in new cartels is they don't start off like really aggressive, is they'll get immediately sandwiched and just absorbed. So they have to start off extremely violent. Cartel del Golfo, they're like up by the Texas border.
Yeah.
They are like.
Oh, can we call them the Cartel del Golfo America?
I think they would kill you.
Well, because we changed the name. Remember? It's no longer the Gulf of Mexico. It's the Gulf.
They're just Cartel of the Gulf. They're not even...
Cartel del Golfo America.
That's...
Make America first. And Cartels Unidos.
That's our number one market.
And then the other two, which originated... Let's see, we got Trende Arago, which is getting a lot of play in the news. They're a Venezuelan gang. Very bad. And MS-13, which originated in Los Angeles, but shifted to Central America.
They were mostly in El Salvador. And that president just kind of was like, everyone goes to jail. You have tattoos, to jail.
Yeah, well.
Not exactly the best way you want to decide who goes to jail, but it's worked. And I'm not going to blame them because they had a huge problem. You had to take drastic measures. But yeah, that's the cartels. I think we're done with cartels.
No. We got one more.
We still got more?
I got one more because this is just so much. And basically we talk about this because, like I said, I live down here. And, in case you're wondering, no, I've never seen any type of activity or violence or anything like that. I haven't. and I've been all over the country.
I've heard of it on the news.
I haven't
I've
gone.
seen it on the news.
I don't go to the north.
No. North is a little more dangerous because it's a little more like the Wild West up there.
Yeah, as you can see in the picture.
Yeah, very much more rural, and even the towns are also pretty much run by them. It's crazy. Yeah. The more south you go, you get closer to the capital, and there it's like the federal government's got a grasp on things for the most part. So you get to like Jalisco and like Sinaloa, that little area, it gets sketchy there.
I'm trying to see if they give the numbers. I thought one of these articles gave numbers on the drone flights, but it's just basically saying we've upped our drone flights, and it's from the CIA. Yeah, we're doing this, and yeah, so. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, Dave just said you're just saying they upped the drone flights, but it's just more of the same. The labs are not. They talk about just how difficult it is because the labs they use to create the drugs are mobile labs now.
Oh yeah, no,
they move around 24/7. Just
they'll set it up on a hill and then they'll move it to another hill or another part of a mountain. It's crazy. Crazy. Well, the story is because there's a couple of really good documentaries you can find on YouTube of guys interviewing cartel members, and they'll tell you about like, oh, it's, there's an officer who shows up here and we give him his money. His job is just, he drives here because he has to drive here. We pay him, he leaves us alone.
Yeah, so this is pretty much the same. It's just from the Los Angeles Times.
Right. Well, what they always say is this: without fail, they say, listen,
doggy.
If the federal government wanted them gone, the federal government could get rid of them if they really wanted to.
If they really wanted to.
The thing is, though, and the federal government knows this, a lot of people within it take kickbacks, deals.
But that's governments everywhere, and that's not a Mexican.
It's not just a Mexican.
I mean, look at what they're uncovering in the United States through Doge. There's kickbacks everywhere.
Oh,
our government is so corrupt.
Oh, absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of that money was going to the cartels and there was some sort of kickback. Listen, the CIA, the government, has always been in bed with organized crime. They've been in bed with during World War II. They were in bed with the mob,
we need to get into Southern Europe one way. All right.
I'm just saying we did. We went.
No. We have a history of it too. So it's a problem everywhere, right?
Yeah, so that's. I mean, really. So when people are reading these things and they're like, "What's going to happen? What's going to happen?" The United States is going to somehow military intervene in the country of Mexico.
Is that going to be a good thing? Is that going to be a bad thing? I honestly can't tell you.
Well, listen. The way I see it is this: what's been going on for the last 40 years is what's been going on, and so anything different. Let's try it because it's just
I agree, but I'm just saying, is that gonna? I think at first it's gonna create a lot more violence because now they're on the chopping block and they see, okay, now we're outgunned, so they're gonna lash out a lot more. They will. That's just how it always works, and then you're gonna have to find a way to just kind of put an end to it. Maybe you won't be able to put an end to it forever.
Well, they might see a Reaper drone coming over the mountain and be going, "Oh shit, that's what that thing looks like." Oh shit, run!
Well, the thing is, you never see it coming.
Yeah, you never see him coming. Never see him coming. So
the last thing you never see.
Anyway, so we're gonna move on from that, but it's interesting news. I'll keep you guys updated. Anything happening as far as being an American in Mexico, it hasn't affected me one bit. I mean, I get some. No one really bothers me about it. No.
Some people look at you because you're just so white.
I am white.
You're pretty white.
I'm very white.
You're nearly translucent.
It's look, there's my privilege. No, I mean, wow, sorry.
I
got privilege running through my veins. No, so anyways, so back to the United States and things Trump does and says. Listen, here I have a problem with that president, with what he said yesterday morning or this morning. I think it was yesterday morning instead of this morning, but I saw it. It was just being replayed. He basically said the Ukraine started the war.
Yeah.
And not Russia.
I don't really agree.
And then he said that Zelensky doesn't even need to be at the table for the peace talks to work.
A little problematic there. How do you get a country to agree to a peace deal?
And even he said this on Fox News, and even the Fox News reporter, who's usually like pro-Trump everything, was like, Mr. President, you do know that Russia invaded Ukraine. And it was just it really was
a really weird interview.
It really was weird. It really showed me that there's something wrong or something going on. I don't quite
understand.
This is the first time I'm really questioning him as a president and his decisions right now. And I'm really concerned that he is making some sort of deal with Vladimir Putin because he thinks it's going to be economically better for the United States, which is fine. I'm all about economics being better for the United States. However,
It seems a little wrong to throw poor little Ukraine underneath the table.
yeah, I mean, at some point in time, you just have to call a spade and say, listen, this country invaded that country. The country that did the invading needs to get out, and they can't get anything for doing that. It's like if I came over to your house and I lit it on fire, and then I said to you, I need something in return.
Gringo, it sounds like you're on my side now of my argument.
Well, I think after this, I think it's just...
Is it convinced?
No, I'm not convinced. I don't think Ukraine needs to be a part of NATO.
Stroke of victory here.
No,
boys.
I don't
Just
think
let me-
Ukraine should be a part of NATO. I don't think we should give them any more money for weapons.
No, I don't think so. Either, but
However, I'm not quite sure what you can't
you can't throw them underneath the bus.
you can't tell them they've already given up Crimea under Obama.
Essentially, they haven't let go of it officially.
They run it. They
But
have
they
their
don't run
military
it.
there.
They took it back. I think portions of it.
They did, but then Russia took it
They
back
take it
again.
back after.
So I mean, Russia can't just walk away with 20% of Ukraine now.
Do you have a map of the current conflict? Can you pull up a map of the current conflict? Because I'm curious.
That is a great question.
Because I know Russia's been pushed back quite a bit. I mean, there was actually a moment I remember very well where it was actually flipped on its head, where the Ukrainians are pushing into Russian territory. But I think that's now kind of regressed. That's October of 2024.
That's not too far away.
A couple of months, but it's more or less probably stayed about the same.
So yeah, battles. So I mean, basically, Russia's taken over all of this.
Which is this region over here is just that's what they claim, like
Hey,
Luhansk and
Verify
Donbass.
it's you. It is me.
Is it you?
I don't know. It's me. I don't know why it wants me to verify. It always wants me to verify. Ever since you got here, what have you been doing on my computer?
I haven't done anything. I haven't touched your computer.
What have you been looking at?
You don't need to know. No, I'm joking.
So yeah.
Ugh.
So we got that. I don't want to verify myself live on TV.
That doesn't sound like a great idea. Wow, that's just every single conflict.
Yeah, I mean, map loading. Okay.
Jesus.
Jeez. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that whole eastern region is like the main focus.
So I mean, but yeah, you have to assume that if this is where all the conflicts are, then Russia's basically got all of this.
Yeah, they have it all pretty much.
It's about 20% of the country.
I'd say 18,
So
15 to 18%.
But,
Looks like that.
but even if you want peace, you can't force Ukraine to
You
give
can't
up
be like
sovereign territory.
Well, especially the fact that I know very well these regions are mineral rich. They're extremely heavy in
Titanium.
Titanium, especially.
large amounts of titanium.
I think it's the biggest outside of Russia.
So
I believe. So I mean, you just
So
think that Russia's got enough.
I'm just kind of curious where Trump's going with this. He really hasn't laid out a real plan. He hasn't really talked about.
Do you think it's like an economic deal? Like, listen, there's a lot of really good minerals there that we need. You take it over. We give you some money. We start up some mines. You give us some stuff. You keep some stuff. Do you think that's probably what they discussed?
I think it is. I
don't blame them, because you know what? That's the big thing to gain from Ukraine is the minerals and obviously the wheat production. But that's all in the West. That won't be touched. You can't give that up. I mean, because then that's part of like Europe's breadbasket gone.
I mean, Jesus, they had it even all the way over here.
You know, yeah. Well, those are just shellings. So air drone. Yeah. You see, the blues are airstrikes, drone strikes.
Battles.
Battles are all the red, which is where they're mostly concentrated. Shelling.
Violence against civilians. There's some of that in here, right?
Yeah, over here in the
Oh, look at that. Jesus.
owned areas, like children being taken. Like I know that this part.
Well, that's the other thing. Russia's taking children.
Yeah, that's
Like, do we get the children back?
I think we do. I would hope. I think from my understanding is that this has been pushed back to like the original borders. This part,
But
then you get to here. It's all.
But my question is, again, I don't see the logic in the statements that the president made, number one. I don't see how he can logically and truthfully and honestly speak into a microphone or a telephone on live TV on the news and say, Ukraine started this war. And his justification for saying that is that they wanted to be in NATO. Well, that's their right to apply to be in NATO. I don't think they should be in NATO. I think they should be rejected. But I told you.
No. I said they had a right to apply. And you said they shouldn't apply, period. It was their fault for applying. Gringo, you're walking back on your argument.
Not walking
We
back.
have receipts.
Here, you know what? Trump
We
is
have
right.
a
It
stream.
is zero.
We have
It is zero.
We have a stream. You called me a Democrat.
I'm sorry. You're a progressive.
I'll take it. No, I'm joking.
But I don't. I'm really concerned that this is going to be a very bad precedent for U.S. foreign policy if we allow Russia to gain anything in this right now.
Did you steal my script from last stream?
I know. I'm rethinking it because I didn't think the president was the.
You didn't think he was
I
gonna
thought
make
he had a
deal?
better plan. I didn't think this was going to be his deal at this point.
The dude met with him and saw. Well, he didn't go there physically. To Saudi
He's
Arabia,
talked to him.
but he's talked to him, over the phone.
Yeah, he's talked to him.
He'll probably say, "You want to come to the U.S.?"
No.
He will.
No, if he invites Vladimir Putin to the U.S., people... no.
We will. Trust me, I will not be. Watch, maybe not this year, but next year. Within these 2 years, he will invite Putin to the U.S. to have discussions. He will.
I don't know. So, but how do you feel about what he said?
It's just wrong. You can't say one country invaded. Well, no, you can't say that the country who was invaded is at fault. That's like. I was going to bring up a really specific example.
It's like blaming the victim. Like,
blaming
she
the
was
victim.
wearing a short dress.
I wanted to say that, but I didn't know if we could say that on stream.
You can't say the R word.
Yeah, it's like
It's just like she was asking for it. It's like that's like the argument we're using here. Of course,
it's wrong.
I hope somebody, I don't have to go back, and hopefully within the last day or so they've walked.
Do you think
this
Marco
back.
Rubio probably went up and said, "Mr. President, you cannot say that"?
I don't think Marco Rubio said anything boo to him. I don't think JD Vance said boo to him. I think the person.
Chief of staff?
I think it's the chief of staff,
Yeah.
Susie Wiles, needs to come to him and go, listen,
Cool it.
kind of walk that one back, please, and because they'll just play that over and over again from Fox News. That's on tape. So, anyways.
They started the war as they were invaded.
They were
Their
invaded.
children are missing. They literally have missing children.
So,
They have children in Russian orphanages.
yeah, they do really do it.
And they're being told, "You're Russian now." But don't worry. It's your fault, Ukraine. You should have thought about the children. Was that land really that important?
You shouldn't have worn all that makeup.
That's
really
cover
what
up
it
next
is.
time. It really is.
It's victim blaming. He's victim shaming. See, no. Oh.
How dare you have aspirations of joining the EU or NATO?
You know what? I don't want to talk about this story. George Clooney, go fuck himself. Anyways,
What about George Clooney? Hold on.
Oh, he's like he's blaming Biden for the election loss. He's like, Biden couldn't communicate. I'm like,
You
yeah,
pushed him out.
You pushed him out too.
You pushed him.
And you put Kamala Harris in.
Your article.
He's just
Your
he's an
article.
idiot.
His article. His article was the main push.
Yeah.
It was the thing that started it.
Well, I mean,
Because he's a big Democrat committee figure?
yeah, something like that.
I think he's got a lot of money either invested there or he's like even like a chairman at this point.
At this point, he might as well just run. I mean, just run for office if you're that passionate.
You're probably
about it.
somewhat popular.
I mean, only in California. If he tries running for something like Florida,
Oh no, yeah, South he loses. He loses to South. You lose Georgia.
go to Texas, run for Congress there. See how that goes. So,
Let's talk about gun regulations.
So-
Immediately loses the election.
yeah. So I just don't want to talk about that
That's fair.
because it's just so much stuff coming out with celebrities lately. Like you saw the Tom Hanks thing, right?
No.
You know how they do Black Jeopardy on SNL?
Yeah.
Well, Tom Hanks a few years ago did the Doug.
Yes,
MAGA
Doug,
hat.
the MAGA.
Well,
I love Doug.
they brought him back for the 50th anniversary. And of course, he's wearing the MAGA hat. And he's acting like an idiot. And it's basically MAGA. Republicans and conservatives took it as an insult. I'm like, I think it was just bad taste to do it again. I get it. You did it the one time.
It was
But-
funny when he did it.
But to come out and it just
I haven't seen a new one. If it's really like a bad taste or insulting on
it
purpose.
it wasn't funny. Number one. Number two, it was just sort of like, okay, you lost. All right, just seems like sour grapes. And just to make everybody out who voted for Trump to be an idiot. Again, I mean, is that the?
The unity you speak of.
I mean, it's just the strategy doesn't work. It
No.
didn't work, and it's not going to work, and it's just tiring. I didn't even watch the SNL 50. I watched the one little picture of Tom Hanks in it. I watched a couple of little clips from their news stuff, but other than that, I didn't watch the SNL. I could care less. Care less.
I haven't watched SNL in a while. The only time I really watch SNL is Colin Jost and Michael Che.
I don't even watch that anymore.
Those
because
guys are pretty funny.
They're funny, but
But sometimes they lean into like the political jokes too much, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it's funny, but it's like
It's like, okay, enough's enough.
And now it's like, I mean, I don't mind you making fun of politics,
Yeah.
but like when it's like you're not really.
Well, I mean, they have no scruples. I mean, they'll go so far right. They'll go so far after the right. Remember when Dan Crenshaw? They went after Dan Crenshaw,
The
Navy SEAL congressman with the eye patch.
Yes.
They made him out there. They were like making fun of his eye patch. And he's a pirate. And then they came out after the show. They're like, "Why were you making fun of his eye patch?" And they're like, "Oh, we thought you know he lost it because of an IED in the war, right?" And they're like, "Oh," and so they actually had to apologize. Pete Davidson had to apologize. They had Crenshaw came on the show and did all those things. So it's just they have a tendency that when they see a target and they want to eviscerate it on the right, they go that far. But if there's something on the left that's ridiculous, like they haven't touched upon like any of the ridiculousness on the left with the spending that we're finding and all the ridiculousness and stupidity. So I just find like if you had a balanced show, sure, I'll watch. But it's obviously
it used to be balanced.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch SNL all the time in the '80s. It was hilarious. Everybody,
Even 90s.
Yeah, in '90s it was hilarious. Everybody got roasted.
It's 2000 that started to kind of lean a bit.
Yeah. Oh, hey, before we get to pop culture, I figured let's save that story. We get to this. Apparently, Papa Frank.
Papa Francesco.
You used to live right next to the Vatican.
I actually met the Pope.
You met the Pope. You have pictures with the Pope, and he was doing better earlier this week, but apparently he's in critical condition now. As of this morning, he had an asthmatic respiratory crisis.
Yeah, he's breathing.
He's receiving blood transfusions. He's in rough shape. They basically one guy that's close to the source of the situation basically said the door's swinging both ways right now. It's either
50-50.
50-50.
Even they came out the Pope, because I have a couple of Vatican news stuff that I follow because I live pretty much there, and I always was at the Vatican because I used to serve at if you look up Santa Anna or Chiesa Santa Anna, which is the Church of Saint Anne. That's where I served. It's right inside the Vatican, past the gate. So if you're ever in Rome, Sunday 4:00, I believe. No, 2:30.
Yeah,
2:30ish, I believe, or no, 2:30. I left. I think it starts at 3:30. I could be wrong. Either 2:30, 3:30. If you go there, you can go into the Vatican church there and have a mass in English.
That's
in case people are watching and want to do that. But he's for a long time had a lot of health problems.
Well, they got him listed here. First of all, he's got pneumonia in both lungs.
Right.
He's double fisting it right now.
Wow.
And of course, if you don't know, he's from Argentina and has a vulnerability to respiratory infections. As a young man, he suffered a severe bout of pneumonia that led to the removal of part of one lung. So he's got like 1.5 lungs. He doesn't even have 2 lungs.
No, he doesn't have like full 2. He's got
right.
1 and whatever's left in the other.
He's had surgically removed part of his colon in relation to diverticulitis, which can cause inflammation or infection of the colon. He was hospitalized in 2023 with bronchitis. In recent months, he's just fallen down where he bruised his face and hurt his arm, which was in a sling.
Yep.
And so, since February 14th, he's been in the hospital. I don't want to see anybody die, but if it's his time, it's his time, which will make it interesting because it's watching the conclave. Who's the lead? Who's the head cardinal?
There's actually it's interesting. There's a couple of head leads. There's I don't know if he's from Ghana, but there's an African cardinal. I can't remember his name. He's actually up in the lead. There's the Hungarian. I believe he's the head cardinal of Hungary. I think he's also up there. There's even the Philippines. He's up there. And the other ones are...
What are the chances that the Catholic Church
choose an African cardinal?
Chooses anyone not European?
Well, he's the first Latin American.
I know. But what's the chances that now, again, they choose someone not European?
Okay. I would put my money on the Hungarian. There's a couple of Italians they went back that are up there. But I think the Hungarian has the best chance. Second, I'd actually give it to the Philippine cardinal.
You see the Filipino priest, the Myanmar priest that was butchered in the Myanmar Civil War last week?
No, I did not see that.
The young priest, just because they don't like Christians and Catholics in that country. No. At least the people on one side of the Civil War don't like Christians and Catholics. So they went and they took this young priest, I think he was like 20-something, 28, 29. They butchered him, left him on the altar. For his Persians, anyways, neither here nor there. I'm just saying. You're talking about that part of the world. I don't think they unless another pope comes out of Latin America. I don't think there's any chance that we get an African pope.
You won't get a Mexican card. You won't get a Mexican priest.
No, I don't think we get a Mexican. No. You won't get an American. You'll never get it. There'll never be an American pope.
Unless he's from Boston. From Boston.
No. You'll never get an American Pope, which we're going to talk about the U.S. bishops in a minute and the Pope and some of the things he said with Trump. Let's get back to the Pope article there, so we have that up because that's what we're talking about.
No, but yeah, he's actually. I will tell you this. I don't think you have it.
Like he does not look healthy in that picture.
Well, he
looks a little bloated.
He is bloated.
He looks like he's sitting on the toilet.
Wednesday.
Or he's looking at you. He's probably like you're on your phone in mass, and like those day you went to mass with him. He's looking. You're on your phone playing Pokemon. He's like looking at like that. Freaking kids playing Pokemon.
We're not paying attention to God's word.
Pay attention to God.
Well, okay. I think it's Wednesday because every Wednesday he comes out to speak. That's where I was at. That's where I was able to meet him. Well, he didn't speak. He couldn't physically speak.
Yeah. Well, he's missed that now 3 times in a row.
Right. They had him wheel out. I think they wheeled him out the last time.
Yeah, but he didn't speak.
He didn't speak. They just kind of wave and all that. But he's really bloated at the neck here.
Yeah.
Really, really bloated.
They say he's in a lot of pain, actually.
He is actually in a lot of pain. He's always been in a lot of pain when it comes to walking stuff. Yeah. He's always been in wheelchair. In fact, the past, I think.
Well, no, just sitting there getting transfusions and getting the treatment. Just the pneumonia himself is giving him a lot of pain. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, he's in rough shape, and
even the Swiss Guard's practicing this funeral.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's the year of the Jubilee, so I don't know if he makes it. God bless him.
God bless. I hope he does.
He was definitely a different kind of pope. I'm not sure I'd have to go back. I think it's a mixed bag of whether he did some good things and bad things here and there.
He tried to clean the church up and make it more open.
Did he?
He did.
I don't know.
He was the one who started to open this.
Is making it look like it's open and whatnot, but
the Vatican. You have to realize that the Pope's always fighting with another faction within. There's always different factions.
They shouldn't, but that's the thing. The Pope shouldn't be fighting with anybody. He's the Pope.
Well, he's the
Pope. It's like saying, God, Jesus said to St. Peter, "You're going to be the first Pope." And it's like the rest of the apostles going like, all right, let's fight with St. Peter. None of them would do that. It's just, that's how messed up the Catholic Church is right now. And I'm a Catholic, so I could,
No, I served there. I would know. It is kind of sad.
Anyway, so although he's not sick enough to stop his political letters going out to the U.S. Bishops' Conference, which has denounced and is now urging President Trump to change his immigration policy. The Pope is basically let everybody in, give everybody money. He's basically that. And I get it. He's looking at it from a standpoint of what would Jesus do? Well, if Jesus was in charge of the United States and was in charge of making sure the economy was correct and everybody was safe and there was no criminal activity, Jesus would build a wall. But that's what Jesus would do. Jesus would be like, all right, listen, I gave you fish and bread and wine and you're not behaving, so we're going to build a wall.
Behave first, and then the wall's going to go away. Yeah. Everyone just got to behave. Yeah. If everyone behaves, the world is a much better place.
Everyone behave. But apparently that's not happening. So, but all the U.S. bishops are now lining up and trying to get basically the Catholic faith in the United States to create some sort of resistance to this. But I don't think their heart is in it, because I think the way the U.S. bishops worded their letter back, saying thank you to the Pope for your expression of support for immigration. We're definitely, as an organization of U.S. bishops, going to try to find a way forward to support not only human rights, but also the security and sovereignty of the people that live in our country. So they were kind of balancing on both sides. So even the U.S. bishops are like, "Hey, Pope, you got to back off from this message here. This is you're
it's because you have to understand that there's always walking a fine line when it comes to like arguments in the Catholic Church. Never really become public because they get scrutinized very harshly. Yeah. So they always keep it like if there is a disagreement, they make the most cordial letters you can possibly read. And you have to read in between the lines and be like, okay, this is a way of saying we don't mind your beliefs and how you've implemented them in Europe and everywhere else. You cannot try to implement that here. And
I get that, but here's my thing, because the way I grew up in the Catholic Church and serving the church, wasn't the Pope supposed to be like, once the Pope says something, that's what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But for decades now, there's always been a faction of cardinals that always tries. Think of it like this: split the Catholic Church in half. There's always going to be like half the cardinals that are based on tradition and what the Catholic Church has always done, and that they think they should not expand upon that or interfere beyond that. Okay. And there's the other half that thinks the Catholic Church has to has new responsibilities, should go after certain things. You know what I mean? Think of it like a progressive and a conservative side.
Well, I see that, but we're not talking about politics. And I guess.
But the
religion
Catholic
and
Church
politics
is, well, it's its
very
own
political.
state. Yeah, it's got
It's
its
own
own.
state. So, but my thing is,
It's politics in regards to the Bible and how it should be interpreted in terms of the Word of God. Because yes, the Pope ultimately has the final say, but the Pope also understands it's his responsibility to uphold the Catholic Church and the Catholic faith. So he will not do anything that will jeopardize that faith. At the same time,
look,
so
all I know is that
you have disagreements.
all I know is that Jesus said to Peter, "You're going to be my mouth on this earth after I'm gone." So that's. And if that's the Pope, and that's the lineage that this Pope has, is all the way up to St. Peter, then that's the mouth of God, and that's the if you're Catholic faithful, what he says should just be like, okay, it's like
It's fair, reasonable.
I don't know, it's reasonable. Anyways,
No, I don't
that's a
blame you.
lot of religion.
I agree.
A lot of religion, but
Add that to your religion.
that's definitely going to be a topic when we do a live stream for Beyond Chapter and Verses. We're going to talk about that, and just from a religious
Again,
standpoint.
people, if you want to know my favorite Bible verse, it's Austin 3:16. I just kicked your ass.
I just whooped your ass.
I just whooped
First
your
of all,
ass.
if you're gonna quote
It's whooped.
Austin,
I know. It's
you
whooped.
better get it right.
It's whooped, but I like saying kicked
Fucking
because it's more aggressive.
You goddamn
Whooped.
millennial.
Whooped sounds like sometimes
It's open up a
kid.
can of whoop ass. It's
Oh.
I just whooped your ass.
I
It's
just whooped your
whooped.
ass.
You gotta
get
get
it.
it right.
But I like saying kicked, you know?
Speaking of getting a can of whoop ass open up, look at this sorry bastard. Do you know who this sorry bastard is?
No, but it looks.
He looks miserable.
Yeah, he doesn't look
Well,
happy to be
this
there.
is Ali Abbasi, and he is the director of The Apprentice, which is the film starring Sebastian Stan as Donald Trump, who he got nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor. And this is the Trump movie that basically makes Trump look like an idiot. That came out that nobody saw, but yet it's nominated because Hollywood. Well, apparently Mr. Ali Abbasi got drunk at a Golden Globes party after the award ceremony, saw somebody who he thought was a really good friend for a really long time, walked up to meet this guy or person. I don't want to say guy, I say person. Walked up behind him, slapped him on the ass, and then immediately was like, "Oh God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I that came off wrong. He misjudged the situation." Fair enough. That sounds like a logical, reasonable explanation. Well, he's parted ways with his talent agency, and he says it's got nothing to do with this whole situation, which we know is bullshit.
Yeah, it always has something to do with this.
Here's my thing. Listen, I've been really drunk before. And I've been really not drunk before. And I've been in all sorts of social situations. I've been in social situations with longtime friends I've known for decades. And I've been in social situations with friends I were friends with decades ago and then met again. Also, the whole spectrum. Never once have I ever had the urge to slap their ass and call it not a sexual thing, right? Because the only person whose ass I slap is in the other room right now. It happens to be my wife. And that's right. I slap her ass because it's fun. Anyways.
Well, that's some information.
You see it all the time. She walks by, boom, there we go.
You know, I try to look away.
That's
you know,
fine.
it's weird for me to witness it. It's like,
She does
I
it to
get
me.
it. Yeah, it's different though.
I'm a piece of meat. I'm just a piece of meat to my wife.
It's all you ever will be.
So,
then the check.
wow. Wow. So this poor bastard, which I think is hilarious because that's what you get. You want to make a film spewing bullshit and lies and trying to basically, you want to try to get rich over shitting over somebody because you disagree with their politics. Well, slap another person's ass and you lose your career because no one's going to hire this guy again. I just thought that was funny. I love karma because karma's come back around in my life and hit me when I deserved it. And I love to see it when karma comes back around and hits people when they deserve it. So, anyways. Ba-dum-bum-bum. What do we got? What do we want to go? Oh, real quick. I put this up because you know what? I didn't realize. I got to watch this. You know who that is?
Is that Green Arrow?
That's Green Arrow, baby. That's Stephen Amell.
No, I can't. I don't remember.
Apparently, they're NBC's doing a new show, and it premiered. And some people said it was good. Some people said it wasn't good. Some people said it was a mess. It's Suits LA, so it's like there used to be this show called Suits on USA Network. So Suits LA, Stephen Amell flounders at NBC's totally confused, narratively jumbled legal drama.
Suits isn't like the one with the. Have you watched the show Suits?
I never watched it. I mean, I know of it with like the lawyers and all that.
Yeah, the one with
Yeah.
like I forget. You know the actors in there.
No, dude, I have no clue who these people are.
I've seen clips of Suits. Okay, I didn't know they made Suits LA.
Well, no, they just premiered it, so
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it, but I really like Stephen Amell. He's a really good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he on social media and on real life, he does a lot of work for charity. He does a lot of work
Good
for
guy.
people.
Absolutely good guy.
He's absolutely just a good guy.
WWE fan.
WWE fan, wrestling, all that. Does a lot of all his interviews.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, and be honest with you, I really liked the show Arrow for the first 3 or 4 seasons. Kind of fell off.
I like the first
after
2
that.
seasons. The third, you lose me a bit.
No, third I like with the Rachel Gould storyline. I like that.
It wasn't bad. It just it felt almost sometimes rushed.
Yeah, it was rushed, but it's TV. It's
I know.
CW. It's whatever. Anyways, so I would like to see him succeed. So I got to check this out at some point in time. Probably sit and watch it with your mom and see what we think and see if it's any good. And, but apparently, it's not getting very good reviews. But again, I like to root for people who deserve good things, and I think as an actor, he deserves good things. So. You be a good dude. You deserve good things.
Well, it's hard to follow up on the Suits show that was based in New York. That was a very good show.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends loved it.
Hey, look, it's me.
Oh, it is you. Wow.
Oh, that's not me. That's me. Me in the morning before coffee. There I am. And those teeth are pretty accurate.
Yeah,
I didn't go to the dentist as a child. What can I say? But yeah, that's a great thing.
That's just you in general.
I'm really excited about this actually. So Clayface, everybody knows I'm a DC Comics fan. So Clayface is definitely one of my favorite villains in the Batman lore, especially the original Basil Karlo villain, where he's a B-list actor and he injects himself with something that he can mold his face and his skin to any shape. So it's a really cool storyline.
No, I like it.
Then there's the Matt Hagen Clayface, which is cool.
It's a great origin. He's got a good origin.
Well,
Really,
there's like 7 Clayfaces.
Right.
4 of them, 3 of them which are really good. And then they're like, we're going to do Lady Clayface. Why? Why? Who knows why, right? And then some stupid stuff. But Clayface is a really cool villain.
In general, Clayface is awesome.
Yeah. So they're going to do a live-action Clayface, and they actually landed the director of Speak No Evil. Now, Speak No Evil was a remake of a big Danish film or a Swedish film. It's a horror film. Your mother and I saw it. I thought it was great. It starred James McAvoy. I really enjoyed that film. High anxiety. That movie was like, it's going to be horror, but it's going to be high anxiety horror. I felt like when I got out of it, I was like, I need some Valium. It's like but it was really well done, the acting, the cinematography. And so I thought, well, the guy did really good work on that. So I'm excited that he's been tapped as the director to make a standalone gothic horror suspense thriller, kind of in the vein of Seven kind of thing for Clayface. So I really like that idea.
Oh, we're taking a more serious.
Oh yeah, we're going John Doe on this one.
Okay, all right, that's So I wonder if they'll try to tie that into the was it his name?
I don't Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. Yeah.
I think they haven't really made that decision yet.
I think they want to see how this goes, and how could you even fit it in? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it's like so nitty gritty,
and so over the top, because the Batman with Robert Pattinson is a very grounded Batman. Something like Clayface is very sci-fi. To inject that kind of like, it's like, okay.
Well, you're gonna have to introduce Mr. Freeze and the Joker.
Well, the Joker's already been introduced. He's going to be in the He's going to be in the upcoming one.
But even then, it's like even the Joker to an extent.
But even Mr. Freeze again is a little weird for that kind of grounded storyline. But
I think what if you can find a way for us to be more focused on the character itself and then kind of rather than the powers, how he got the powers.
Yeah,
I think you can really do a good job.
So I'm looking forward. I think that, again, it's just I like looking at these are little decisions being made by James Gunn that make me go, oh, okay, cool. He knows what he's doing. He's got a little bit of direction. He's making right decisions. He's not rushing anything. I love the fact that he came out. People are like, where's the next Batman sequel? Robert Pattinson. He's like, listen, 5-6 years used to be the normal time between movies for sequels and things like that. And he's like, Marvel's kind of ruined that because everybody looks at the next Marvel movie as like the sequel, right? It's the next one. It's the next one, right? So people are just pounding out movies.
Well, we've been spoiled.
Yeah, not spoiled, but yeah, I think spoiled's a good. Yeah, you know what? Right, you're right.
Spoiled, but also on top of that, we have now a shorter attention span.
Yeah.
So once we watch a movie, we expect the sequel to come out so soon. That's why I was talking about Wicked 2 comes out this December, essentially, right? This upcoming year.
Yeah, November, December, something like that.
November, December. That's so rushed, in my opinion. Like, why?
Well, they filmed the whole thing at once.
I get it, but still, my point is the same. It's like you're getting a sequel, so Like literally a year later,
True.
less than a year later.
True.
Actually, less than a year later, right? Because you watch it in December. It comes out in November.
Yeah, watching this.
Literally less than a year later, you get a sequel.
Yep.
So it's just kind of the way media starts.
Speaking of, some came across the news. Speaking of Wicked, Cynthia Erivo, the actress who plays the Wicked Witch in Wicked,
Mhm.
green skin and all that, she's going to play Jesus in the musical Jesus Christ Superstar, which is a very famous musical. I've seen it performed. It's going to be performed in Hollywood or Los Angeles, I think, at the Hollywood Bowl. So I'm kind of curious. That hasn't gotten much play. Again, maybe it's California, so people are just going, it's California. What do you expect?
You're trying to do a Jesus show in California. Not very many.
Well, Jesus being played by an African American woman who is,
I think the woman part is
part of the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, that and the woman part. It's the LGBTQ and the woman part that's just kind of just drive people away.
I'm just saying, hey, it's a musical. She can sing. Well, see what
she can sing. She's got talent. Absolutely, I think that's
not like Jesus
fine.
Christ Superstar is like freaking gospel and doctrine. So it's like it's not like she's out there doing Moses' 10 Commandments. It's like,
no, but still, some people are gonna have a problem with that. I think even I have a problem with it.
Again, if it's in Hollywood, I don't think many people are going to have a problem with it. I think that this thing was going to get put out in I don't know, Kansas City or something like that. Yeah, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it'll be a problem.
Yeah. We're gonna.
This is not touring. This is not touring across the country. All right, next stop, Dallas.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Oh dear Lord. So, anyways, very cool movie news here with Clayface. I'm really, really excited, and I'm gonna have to. I have to get a better copy. I was gonna do a comic book review of Clayface's first appearance, Basil Carlo, but the only one copy I have are the scans from the 1940s copy, which are they're really rough. They're really rough. They do not lend themselves to a YouTube video. They don't transfer over very well. So I'll have to just find digital scans somewhere that are better. Otherwise, I'll see what I can do. But I've been wanting to do a Clayface video for Comicverse, and I'll probably end up preparing one soon for this. But anyways.
You could probably find a more modern version of the comic.
Modern version?
Yeah. Because usually what they do is, at least with Batman comics, they'll do a reprint of the original story.
Yeah. It's just hard because I don't want to sign up for any type of subscription or anything like that. So I'm relying on the one thing that I do have. But anyways.
Box office numbers.
Speaking of superheroes.
The thing that matters most.
Speaking of superhero comics. We got to talk about Captain America Brave New World. Now, we did our review. We said our piece. We talked about how the ballooned budget of around $380 million, let's just call it $400 million without marketing, which is $500 million with marketing. So to break even, you need about between $800 and $900 million. You said conservatively, you want to be nice about it, $800 million to break even.
I think it's anywhere between. I think I said 7 actually.
Okay, let's say 7.
I think 7 to be very kind.
It needs to
probably
make
more like
700
8.
million to break even, not make a profit. Break even.
I said like 700 to 800.
So
like that. I remember correctly.
I looked at the box office on Monday. I looked at this very report on Monday, and I'm looking at it right now.
It really hasn't changed.
It has not changed. This movie is not going to make $400 million. This movie is going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
So again, let's just say, let's be conservative. Let's be nice. $400 million with marketing means it's got to make $800 million,
which is not true at all. You're not spending just $20 million in marketing.
No. So it needs to make $800 million.
You want to be nice, you say $450. Maybe they got bargains.
No. Let's still be nice.
No, 400 is like unrealistic.
I know. Let's be
400 is like
let's
drink
be
the Kool-Aid.
that
nice.
friendly.
No,
yes, let's be that friendly. I'm going to be that friendly. $400 million budget with everything included means it's got to make $800 million to break even.
Right.
All right. But if it only does $400 million worldwide, which that worldwide number, this foreign number, has not changed. It was 98 million then, a week ago. It's 98 million now. This number right here, the 120, that's only gone up by about $20 million in a week.
It's not great.
That's terrible. This thing's going to fall off a cliff, right? So
next week it's probably going to make only 10.
So if it makes $400 million, right? $200 million. So let's say, okay, so it's going to make $800 million. It's 400 million, right? Let's say this thing tops out at 300 million. Half of that has to go to the theaters. So really the movie brought in $150 million for Disney, which means
They lost like $700
they
million.
they lost a lot of money. They lost-
Tax write-off.
No, they can't. No. The only way you
Oh,
can
if you
shelve it and promise, and the thing is, no one can ever see it. It
if
can
gets
never be
leaked,
shown.
What if it ever gets leaked?
Well, I mean, if they don't leak, if Disney can't be held liable for a leak,
Yeah, fair.
so
I was wondering.
like with the Batgirl movie,
Yeah.
the directors came out. They're like, "Yeah, we got word that was happening, and it happened before we could do anything." They tried to access the servers immediately to try to save and download any footage to share with friends and family. They were completely locked out. Everything was already gone. Like it's that quick when they make that kind of decision. It's that quick. So
They don't even tell anybody because
No.
they don't want to risk it.
They don't want to risk it. So this is bad. Like this is really bad. Like I'll give it like and
that's
listen,
coming off of a good year for Disney.
This is
like,
already including Thursday numbers. It might already include Friday numbers.
I'd say it hasn't included Saturday or Sunday. I'm gonna assume it hasn't included
Friday right here. Captain America. It grossed $7 million.
Oh wow, that's really bad. Because
Friday. Thursday 3, 3, 6, 11. Look at it opened, right? We saw it on Thursday here in Mexico, the 13th.
Right.
It opened in the United States on the Valentine's Day. It did 40 million on that day. It did 27 million on Saturday, and 20 million on the 16th. President's Day, which most people had off, it only did 11 million.
Which means a lot of people would rather not see the movie.
Yep. And then
Stay home.
and then Tuesday 6 million and 3 million, 3 million.
Little jump because it's the weekend again.
Little jump because it's Friday and there's really no other movie to see out there. Right. There's nothing out there in theaters.
I'll tell you this. Disney released it at this time because nothing else is in theaters at this time. So they're hoping that pushes people. You want to go see a movie? Yeah, go see Captain America. See for ourselves. But realistically, the big chunk of your change comes within like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the thing is, we'll have to see what the drop is. So tomorrow we'll be able to see Saturday's numbers, and when we do a live stream Monday or Tuesday, we'll have the numbers from the entire weekend. By the way, yeah, I'm bald. It's the first time I ever took my hat off on camera. I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think you've seen you on camera.
I usually shave my head. I've been lazy.
I don't think people need much of an imagination to assume you're bald.
I hate you.
I hate to break it to you.
I hate you. That's why your brother's my favorite. I love you, TT.
That's me.
I know that's I know
you got the wrong brother.
I love
wrong son.
I love you.
He's not your
I meant to say TG. I meant to say TG.
Shitty father. Couldn't even get the other son's name.
I'm a shitty father.
No, I'm joking. No, I love my father.
You know what? I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to start a YouTube channel without my wife and kids knowing. And it's just going to be me just freaking complaining about how it is about with my kids and everything.
It's just called Shitty Father.
You go, called Shitty Father.
It's just every other Friday, it's like a random South Park clip.
It's just, just
Cartman.
Just start just going at it. Just like, okay.
No, I love my father.
I love you, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
So it's bad. It's bad.
Especially after this Sunday, which I don't think is going to make magically $100 million on Sunday.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It's over for them. I mean, you lost $700 million to start off the year.
Yeah, what does come out this week? We have, usually you and I, we all go to the movies once a week to do a review and all that.
Oh, usually there's a lot of movies. This year, not as much. I think it's the beginning part of the year.
Let's see here. Yes, this Cinépolis.
We're going based off of what's available in Mexico as well. So if there's other movies in the U.S. coming out this time that we can't see here.
Yeah, some movies don't come out.
We don't know.
It's really, sometimes things come out early here. Sometimes they come out late here.
Like what? Like Nosferatu?
Nosferatu, I had to wait months. Like by the time it was in theaters last year for the United States.
Yeah, it was in December.
Didn't get here until like January.
Right.
Like Ferrari, like 2 years ago, I wanted to see Ferrari with Adam Driver.
Right.
Because I thought it'd be a really good movie, which I did enjoy the movie. It had some odd parts, but like it premiered in the United States like in November of like 2023. I had to wait until February of 2024 to see it. Wow. Let's see, no movies today. Let's see what's going on tomorrow. Anora, which is probably going to win Best Picture now that, the racist uh, has been exposed.
No, listen, we still have a
Amelia
bet
Perez.
going, all right?
There's no bet. No.
There's still a bet. There's always, listen.
Karina,
there
the
are
Brutalist,
receipts.
the monkey. That's out. Like that. That looks interesting.
What's the monkey? Is that just about you?
Shut up.
El monkey.
Is this? Yeah, this is the Elijah Wood, Sarah Levy. Yeah, so
That might be fun to see.
yeah, it's Monkey by Stephen King. It's based on the short story The Monkey.
Oh.
You know the monkey that's clapping
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
My uncle John, when I was a kid, he had a bar in his basement, like full tilt bar. Thing was awesome. It was like 70s, like
Right.
friggin' Italian glam bar, right? But he had one of those monkeys that with the cymbals that would
That monkey is an integral part of it.
friggin' thing scared the crap out. Every time I looked at it, I'm like, and I'm
It's
like
creepy.
a little, because they'd send all the kids, like they'd all play cards on Saturday nights. So all the kids went to the basement to go hang out because there was a pool table down there and a TV. We'd all watch MTV and play pool. You know, don't touch the booze, which we didn't touch the booze, but the monkey would always be there staring at me, and I'd be like, I hate that monkey. So,
That monkey's an integral part of my childhood when it comes to zombies. All right, Call of Duty Zombies.
that thing, yeah.
Monkey saves us. Monkey is savior.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I'm not going to see this Better Man, the Robbie Williams story, the one where they do the CGI monkey guy.
Oh yeah,
That looks so stupid.
It looks
I'm not
so
doing it.
bad.
I'm not doing it.
You don't want to watch it yourself?
It is some, and the thing is,
You should review it. You should review it, Gringo. You know why?
I'm not going to do it.
You should.
I'm not doing it.
You should.
I'm not doing it.
Who else is going to review that movie?
Let's see here. That's Sunday,
It's
Monday,
probably gonna be
Tuesday,
horrible.
Wednesday, Thursday. Let's see. What about Thursday?
Watch a monkey deal with an addiction to drugs as he becomes a rock star. Because that sounds reasonable.
Ooh, Becoming Led Zeppelin, the beginnings. That's coming. IMAX. Don't know what that means, but hey.
It's loud.
Yeah, other than that, look, this is like, they don't even post because they're not even sure what's going to be coming. See, there's no competition out there.
No. There really isn't.
IVE, the first world tour in cinema. What the hell is this? IVE? What is this?
Oh,
Korean pop?
Remember we were wondering what that trailer was when we went to go see.
Dude, this
Captain
looks like
America?
this looks like a PDS dream right here.
Wow.
Like, no, I ain't going to see that. No.
But do you remember? The?
Yeah, I remember.
I think
saw the
it's that.
trailer. Yeah, we saw.
I
the
think
trailer.
it's the same. I could be wrong.
God, no, thank you. I ain't doing that. Oh, thank you.
What's this?
Oh,
The list.
the list.
Is it?
This is a list.
What kind of?
This came out on Variety.
Oh!
And,
listen, I'm gonna be honest. You said list. I was thinking of another list.
No,
That's
not
like an
that.
Islander list.
No.
I was like-
although that's supposed to get released. But
These people.
these authors here who have absolutely everybody's entitled to their opinion, even if their opinion sucks, like these people. The 100 greatest TV performances of the 21st century.
Okay. First thing. What's the rules? Do
They had
have
to be
rules?
on TV,
Okay. Obviously.
streaming TV. But
Great, but what if they were performing mostly in the 90s?
no, of the 21st century.
No, performing mostly in the they started a role in the 90s,
No.
but it bled into the 21st century.
I believe that's a negation. That is a negation. It had to be began on or after January 1st, 2000.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Okay? The 100 greatest.
So since 2000. Listen, there's got to be at least a couple of these I know. At least a couple.
We're not going to go through the whole list.
The Sopranos, at least a couple of the Sopranos guys have to
90s.
be there. Well, they 2000s
We'll see.
as well.
Let's see. You know what? Let's do the magic of.
Well, I don't know if they started, but I don't remember when they started. They might have started in 98, 99.
Oh, no, I don't want to search the web. Sorry. Don't do that. I don't want to search the web. Let's type in.
Here. Oh, right there. Scroll to that part. It's right at the beginning here.
And Sarah, Jessica Parker, and James. Let's see here. But unfortunately, they had to be cut off somewhere starting the clock in the year 2000. So, yes, they started in the 90s, so they're cut off.
Damn. All right. Well, you've just got rid of like a majority of good TV. Scroll all the way up before we get back to. Yeah, here. This is the list.
Now, I will tell you this. I've seen this list in preparation, and it's bullshit. You know why? Colin Farrell's not on this list. Penguin. He's not on this list.
When was this written?
you go.
Yeah.
Christine Milioti, for her performance in The Penguin, is not on the list. Even
Is
though
it
Christina
because
Milioti
it's
is
so
on it.
recent?
No,
They
it's
messed it up?
21st century, baby.
I know, but
No.
like, it's like it just came out like literally last year.
No, because there's stuff that literally came out that's here.
Okay.
All right.
I was just wondering.
Okay, of all TV shows that you've heard of, know of, whatnot, but here's my thing though. I think for you to have the greatest 100 performance, like the character needs to be known.
Not necessarily.
I think if it's a great performance, okay, the whole argument. If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it really make a sound? If someone puts out a great performance but no one watches it, is it really a great performance?
No, I get the argument, but even then, I mean, there are many people who.
All right, who do you think is going to be number one?
I don't.
Greatest TV performer of the 21st century. Think of all the iconic roles.
Somebody from The Office.
No.
Really?
And I'll tell you this too. No one from The Walking Dead made this list.
All right, that is surprising because that's like integral to like 21st century TV.
Okay.
All right, I don't know.
Let's start scrolling.
I don't watch that much TV.
Let's just start scrolling. Jeremy Allen White in the Bear.
That's
I get
fine.
it. People
That's
like
good.
that. That's cool.
That's a good one.
Yellowstone. Okay, get it. Ted
Roy
Lasso.
Kent.
Get
That's
it.
funny.
Let's see here.
Justin Kirkman.
Let's go to the top 10.
Okay, give me the top 10. Give me top 10.
Where am I?
58.
43.
You can scroll a little faster. No, I'm joking.
I know. Just I don't want to get ahead of myself. 18. All right, we'll do 50.
Sorry.
All right. Watched a little bit of the show, The Americans. Kerry Russell, sure, deserves to be on the list.
I heard of this show.
Is she number 15? I don't think she's number 15, but
I've heard of this show.
Top 30, yes.
I've at least heard of this show.
Yeah.
That's not terrible.
This is a top 5 or top. This is at least top 10. To make him 14 for The Shield
Yeah.
is, to me, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's rough.
Regina King is Angela Abar, Sister Knight in Watchmen. The one where basically it's all social. It's the worst. Black people good, white people bad. Dr. Manhattan turns himself into a black man, so she's comfortable talking to him, and then literally gives her an egg that's basically his essence, and she cracks it and eats it. It's so bad. The Watchmen is so this is such a bad TV show.
I was saying I don't remember this show.
You
but
don't.
all I remember was that I think it was bad. That's all I remember hearing was bad.
It's so bad.
So the fact that it's on,
she's put it number 13, so you can tell exactly.
Yeah, I see. This is also Steve Carell.
Number
did
12.
not get number 1.
Nope.
That's the number 1 performer. I'm sorry, that's number 1.
No, it's not.
He should be number 1.
Nope.
He should be.
Nope.
Who should be number 1 then?
The guy who's number 3 should be number 1, even though he's not number 1.
Who's number 3?
We'll get there.
There's another guy from The Office.
All right. I May Destroy You. Never heard of it. Don't care.
Yeah.
So watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Sandra Oh is Dr. Christina Yang, Grey's Anatomy. Okay.
Not bad, that's fine.
A lot of people liked it.
Before you continue, now I understand your argument about if a tree falls and no one's there, they see it, does it really fall?
Mm-hmm.
Now I understand your argument. I think it's a valid argument now. Now after saying this list, that argument applies perfectly.
Rhea Seehorn as Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul. The
wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not actually. She's really a very good.
How about the guy who plays Saul?
I was saying, but
is not on the list.
Whoa! I was just gonna assume that he's later. He's not on the list. They put the woman on the list.
Yeah.
And not the guy.
Yeah.
I'm not sexist. She does great. I think she should be in top 100, but he should be top 10.
Andre Braugher. Love the guy as an actor. Love him in this role. The show is funny. Guess what? It's not a top 10 performance.
Top 15.
Top 15. I'll give him top 15.
I give top 15. Wait. Is who's the guy who plays Heisenberg? Walter? No. The actor who plays Heisenberg. He's number 3. He's not number 1.
He's not number 1.
Craig is not number 1. Who's number Who the fuck is number one?
Carrie Coon as Nora Dust, The Leftovers.
Who gives a shit about the leftovers? I don't even know what you are. You are the leftovers.
Michael Kenneth Williams as Omar Little, The Wire.
That's
definitely
fair. That's fair. That's
definitely a fair. Yes,
he
absolutely.
deserves top 10.
Yep. Number 5. Sorry,
He's number 5.
Bryan Cranston, Walter White, the most iconic
TV show of the 21st century, probably. Sorry, he is.
He should be.
Outside of Steve Carell, it's this guy.
Wait a minute. You know what I didn't check? Hold on. Let me see here. Okay, that's okay.
You have to go down. That's it. The only 2 Breaking Bad roles.
It's just
related.
it's just being a little weird.
No, it's because you see all the other ones there. See Breaking Bad in the title.
Oh,
Breaking Bad in the description.
yeah. The guy who plays Jesse's not in it.
Yeah, Jesse's not even there. Jesse White. Not Jesse White. What's his name? I'm bad with names. I'm terrible with names. Even characters' names, I'm terrible
know.
with.
So, anyways, Walter White, who should be number 1, hands down.
Bryan Cranston should be number 1.
Bryan Cranston should be
Number 1. If not, Steve Carell should be number 1 because I would understand that.
Lisa Kudrow as Valerie Cherish, The Comeback.
Sorry, what is that? It
As
was
a series was misunderstood in its first season,
Whoa. It was debuted in 2005, abandoned for about a decade, and then picked back up, and then abandoned forever.
Yeah.
And that's a top 4 performance. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, if it's that good of a performance, the show's long.
This should have been number. I'm fine with her being number 3. Fine with her being number 3. Elizabeth Moss, Mad Men. But again, let's go to find. Mad Men.
Those are the only 2. There's only one other one.
John. What about the rest of the cast?
Go up.
Yeah.
Well, he's not even. He is straight out of. I don't.
Where's Don Draper?
Wait. Where's
Where's
Curb
Don-
Your Enthusiasm? No, that's 90s, right? Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Where's Don Draper from Mad Men?
I don't know.
Not in there. John
I don't know
Hamm.
who you're talking
Where's
about.
John Hamm? John Hamm, the main character. The guy that show's about.
This is a
Again,
bad-
she deserves to be on this list.
No, she is fine. I will take your word. I never watched it, but if John Hamm's on this list, I know.
Been a fan of hers since The West Wing. Because she was
Okay.
President Bartlett's daughter there.
John Hamm. You're missing Saul Goodman. You're missing
Jeremy Strong, Succession. Okay, fine.
What
He's a number-
Giancarlo is? Giancarlo
Giancarlo Esposito?
Esposito.
I didn't see him on the list.
Is he not on this list?
Let's take a look.
Dude, he did a great job playing Gus. Gus Fringe. He sold that role. Plus, he's been in so many other good roles.
I hope I spelled his name right.
He's just Giancarlo. Giancarlo. It's a pretty unique name. It's Italian. He's Italian. Fun fact.
Giancarlo.
Giancarlo.
Nope.
No. Wow.
Nope, not on the list.
This is a shitty list.
And number one,
who's number 2? Who is this?
Jeremy Strong for Succession, which is it's a good show. It's a good show. I'll give you that. It's a good show.
I don't think it's number 2.
Does he belong number 2? No. Number 7, number 6.
Bryan Cranston's number 5. That's the problem with this list.
Here's your number 1, according to Variety, the number 1 most iconic TV performance in all of the 21st century. Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Selena Mayer, the vice president in Veep.
That's politically motivated. That screams.
She actually looks like Kamala Harris.
I think the hair.
The hair. She's Kamala Harris.
I think you're missing another really
She's
important
funnier than
factor.
Kamala Harris, but she probably laughs as much as Kamala Harris. Should she be in top 10? Okay, I give you top 10. Number 1? No.
No, number 1 is Bryan Cranston, Saul Goodman. I'll give Giancarlo even that spot. Steve Carell.
I think Christine Milioti and I think Colin Farrell gave 2 of the best performances of the 21st century. I believe both of them belong to be top 10.
I'll take it.
I'll take top 15.
No, not top 10. They're again, too recent maybe. You're facing some really tough competition. Top 25. Top 20, top 25, sorry.
No, I don't think anybody from the show Shogun made it.
Yeah, no.
So,
There's a lot of good shows that didn't make it.
so
West Wing started in the 90s, right? Yeah.
that's that. That's not easy.
Yeah, I figured. I think a lot of shows that went into like the 2000s.
Community. So yeah, this whole list.
This is a terrible list.
Terrible list. 6 Feet Under, Abbott Elementary. Oh, Elizabeth Olsen is number 64.
WandaVision.
WandaVision. I'm okay with that.
I mean, I think that's a little high.
Desperate
A little high.
Housewives. Angela Bassett. She's always been great. American Horror Story. She's great in whatever she does. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She's always hilarious. Okay,
Stranger Things.
Jim Hopper. I think as far as iconic and greatest performances, I think he deserves higher than 68. I think he's
pretty funny.
I think he's a top 25 guy at least.
I mean, yeah, we have to think more about Stranger Things. I mean, those kids have been
It's Jim Hopper.
Jim Hopper. Yeah, Jim Hopper.
Dude, he's the dude you want to like. He's the dude.
Yeah. No, I get it. Oh, who's the other guy? First season, the boyfriend of Nancy. Best friends with.
Oh yeah, that guy. No, none of them made it. But you know what?
He should have.
Did 11 make it?
11 should make it.
What is her name?
Hopefully 11.
You know, let's search Stranger Things. Let's just do that.
I mean, talk about a show that had people hooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember when that thing came out?
Yeah.
And they had the second season, third season. They're still working on another season. It's that popular.
Well, they need to do the last season.
Right.
I'm gonna go with
Nope. That's the only
That's it.
thing. That's it. Wow. This is a bad list.
We should make our own list.
Modern
Okay,
Family.
Modern Family. They
that's fair.
Anthony Homelander. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Patricia Clark's absolutely great.
I never watched Sharp Objects, so.
Great actor.
Mr. Robot.
Mr.
Wow.
Robot. That should be
top
way
10.
higher.
That should be top 10.
I don't know if I put him top 20, but to put him at 73?
No. I say top 10 because guess what? There was Mr. Robot was a huge show.
Yeah.
When I was still a kid,
Yeah.
and I would always see commercials for it.
Big Little Lies.
And that he epitomized that role. Whenever I see that guy in another movie or show, I just see Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
I never even watched Mr. Robot. I just know who he is. That's how good he was.
Naya Rivera as Satana Lopez in Glee. I never watched Glee. I know it was wicked popular. Put some clothes on. Anyways, girls.
Well,
Al Pacino as Roy Cohn in Angels in America. Sure.
Reddington.
Is Raymond Reddington on this list? No, Raymond Reddington is not on this list.
Red list?
I-
Blacklist.
Blacklist guy? No. They're not going to put him on this list. Unless I missed it.
Check. Well, check the. Maybe anybody from Blacklist. That was a good show.
It was. Lasted a while, too.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. O.J. Simpson. I better see some stuff from them. Remember the O.J. Simpson trial? Oh, there
There
she
she
is.
is. Yeah, she did a great job.
Yeah, I
with
think
Marcia
it's-
Clark.
Yeah. Perfect.
Let's go back up here.
You were back at
White
like 83.
White Lotus.
That's fair. I saw whoever 89 is. I forgot her name.
Let it catch up here. Okay. Don't care.
Don't care. That's wrong, probably.
Stellan Skarsgård made 85 for Andor. Okay.
I don't think Andor was a good show.
Actually, it really was. It just was long and kind of, I don't know, just didn't get what it
I
did.
heard some really bad things about it.
Yeah. Twin Peaks, Kyle MacLachlan as
Again, my opinion
Special
of it-
Agent Dale Cooper. Now, you've never seen the original Twin Peaks.
No. Let me say this also. I don't watch a lot of TV, but the TV I do know or hear about,
Yeah.
I know they're very prominent roles. So if I don't see
Hey.
them on this list, I think there's something wrong.
The Silver Surfer. Julie Gardner is Ruth Langmore Ozark. Ozark's a great show.
I've heard of Ozark.
She's going to be the Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four. They gender swapped it. I did a video. Remember?
No, I remember this.
Yeah, she's Shia Ball, the female Silver Surfer.
She's great. Yeah.
Everybody hates Chris.
Everybody hates Chris.
Yeah, I hate him. There's for How I Met Your Mother. She made it for number 90, and for the role in the Penguin, she should be. For me, it just was brilliant.
Wait,
Brilliant.
did they have Barney from How I Met Your Mother? That's iconic.
I don't think so.
Are you joking?
Kate Blanchett. Is that Alan Tudyk? Yeah. See, I think he's having trouble catching up. I don't know why.
Because you're jumping all over the place.
Yeah, I'm jumping.
Oh, no. Here, wait. Let's finish this part. Matt Berry.
What We Do in the Shadows. Never seen it. I know of it. Gilmore Girls.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, it's having trouble catching up. Weeds.
We started here. Scroll down. So we didn't see, I think, 96 here.
Evil.
I don't know.
I'm evil.
Who's 95? I see 95.
Yeah, it was
Oh, it was
Gilmore Girls.
Well, check, who did I say How I Met Your Mother?
Barney.
Barney. Is Barney on this list? That's, iconic. Right? He was so iconic. People got mad with the ending because his character didn't get the happy ending that they thought he should have got.
Yeah.
Even though he was never supposed to be like the main guy of the show. He became the main show.
That's it.
This is a bad list. This is just a bad list. It really is. Again, a great job. She did a great job in her role there. Not a problem. But this list is wrong. Bryan Cranston at 5. He should be either number 1 or number 2.
No one from The Walking Dead. That's all I gotta say. No one from The Walking Dead.
You gotta give me at least.
You gotta give me Daryl from The Walking Dead, or you gotta give me Daryl from The Walking Dead.
Daryl's the main guy, right?
No, he's second. He's the main guy now,
right.
Or he became after
Who's
Rick
the
left.
who's the
Rick.
Rick, yeah, Rick.
After Rick left, yeah.
Well, Rick's still there, you know.
Well, he left the show, so he went on one. I didn't watch after a few seasons.
Rick, Daryl. There's Punisher guy. Maybe
Yeah, there's no Marvel people on this.
No. Well,
Daredevil, Charlie Cox.
They put WandaVision.
Well, WandaVision. Sorry, there's no Charlie Cox, no Vincent D'Onofrio for
The Punisher.
Kingpin.
Sorry, you have to put the Punisher.
Yeah,
sorry, you have to put
Punisher.
Punisher.
Yeah,
Even Daredevil to an extent. You got to put. I'm not trying to go all on the superhero stuff, but just who played the son of Rick? What's the name of that role?
I don't. You and your brother watched it.
No, that's mostly the other one. That's Thomas.
Yeah. So I didn't. I was busy trying to. I was working.
The Rick's kid. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I
The
forgot
name of that role. The character.
Anyways,
there's a lot of roles that are left off here that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. No, it really, really doesn't. And
it's just a bad list. It really is a bad list. And it's very politically motivated.
Yeah.
The number 1 just screams politically motivated. It's like, Madam VP. It's like, really? Really? Salty.
very salty.
Very, very salty. Well, I think that's all the news stories you've got. Unless you got something else that I don't know of.
I don't. Let's transition. Here we go.
And it started to slouch there after I started seeing that horrible list. Started to lose confidence in entertainment. Granted, there's not much confidence to have left. So.
But this way, we get to see Snow White in a couple weeks. I ho!
I can't.
It's off to work we go. I ho! I'm only doing it for the review. Your mother and you are going to kill me when we go see this movie.
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna need to get me like a burger and fries to like repay this, or even like donuts or something.
Ooh, donuts. We go to Krusty Kreme.
Krusty, what did you call it?
Krispy Kreme.
Krusty Kreme.
I don't know why I called it
Krusty Krab.
You need Krusty Krab.
Krusty Krab. Donuts.
Because sometimes they have the Homer Simpson donuts. You haven't seen these Krispy Kreme?
No, I've seen them.
They have the big.
But why would you? Oh,
big
Krusty's.
Krusty with the pink and the colored sprinkles.
Yeah, the Homer donut.
The rainbow sprinkle. The Homer donut. The Homer Simpson donut. That's so good.
That's okay.
I love Krispy Kreme. All right, everybody.
All right.
Woo!
You got anything else to add?
No, I'm good. I gotta go. I'm hungry. That's what I am.
I might grab a snack. I might just go to bed. I'm quite tired.
You're not gonna stay up and play video games?
I might.
You should stay up a Saturday night.
The other thing is I might just play my iPad games too. Who knows? The thing is, I want to play games, but I want to save some of those games. Like I don't want to like touch the trophies and stuff when I record.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Whatever.
It depends.
Hey. Then I'll do what I want to do here.
I might play. I haven't.
I'm gonna eat and probably I don't know. I might paint a little.
Yeah.
We'll find out. It's about that time. So, anyways, everybody, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. I'm still your reluctant gringo. This is still my son. We are still south of the border.
And we have internet that's
We have internet,
quality
fiber
internet.
optic internet.
at
It's
least
awesome.
for right now until
So-
it goes out.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Till next time. Salud.
Hasta
luego.
Adios.